Hey everyone, it's Colin from DIY Guy. Thanks for checking out today's video on using herb boxes as a pest repellent. So I came up with this idea after seeing an MI Gardener video where he had an herb box next to some spinach and kale. And what he showed was that the spinach and kale next to those herbs weren't affected by pests at all. And it was super cool, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video, how to use herb boxes as a pest repellent. Now, as with any raised garden bed, you have to find a way to fill it, and so that's what I'm going to do next. Let's do a quick recap of just a few suggestions I have. So first off, I would recommend that you do multiple smaller plantings of herbs instead of one large planting, because you'll get better coverage that way. And also, you don't have to have raised beds to do this. You can just plant them directly into your garden, intersperse them with the rest of your veggies, whatever you decide to do. It's just the idea that the herb scent is going to mask the veggie scent. Second off, make sure you keep in mind which direction the wind is blowing, because that's a huge factor. If you just plant one long row of herbs on the south side of your garden and you have a north to south blowing wind, it's just going to blow the herb scent away from your garden. So if you have a southward wind, make sure you plant on the north side of your garden. Then that southward wind is going to blow from north to south, blowing the herb scent and kind of covering your garden. Think of it just like a cloud of scent that you're trying to use to hide your garden from the bugs. So my third and final suggestion is to just plant a wide array of herbs. You never know which ones are going to work and which ones are going to repel the pest in your garden. So just plant 4 to 6 different ones that are more strongly scented. I would suggest basil, maybe cilantro, definitely dill. Dill is a strong one, but you could throw in lavender, just kind of whatever you want. Also, make it something that you use instead of just planting it for the sake of repellent, because it might not work in the first place and then you just have worthless herbs. Now we move on to the final step of today, not the final step forever because we have to plant the herbs in the springtime, but the final step today is to fill the raised garden beds. So luckily, I only have about 5 cubic feet of filler that I need. So this is another great reason why you should not make massive raised garden beds unless you have the resources to fill them, because it's a lot of dirt and dirt seems to be expensive. So I just need 5 cubic feet. I've got a compost pile behind me. I'm gonna fill them all just with straight compost. I might actually do a little bit of clay dirt that I have laying around that's just from my crawl space. I might do a couple inches of that on the bottom, but the majority is going to be from my compost pile, and it's already really decayed in the bottom. It's basically topsoil at this point, and so I'm gonna fill those and then we'll call it a day. So since I don't want all the new stuff, I'm gonna try to dig toward the bottom of my pile, and it's kind of gross because I just put some plant material in last week, so it kind of smells weird. But when we get all the way down there, there's what my compost looks like, and we've got a snap pea in there. So that is basically topsoil at this point. Now I'm gonna get some fill dirt to put on top, that way it goes in first. Let's see if this will be enough. First thing I'm going to do is try to get these beds level. That way if it rains, it doesn't wash all the dirt to one end or wash all my seeds down. Also got to be careful not to hide my irrigation, because I'm going to need to run it off that main line into these little beds. So you really only need topsoil in the top 3 or 4 inches. The rest can be just fill dirt or whatever you've got. The other thing you'll notice is that I'm overfilling them by about 1 inch just for when they settle when it rains. And after all that work, we are left with 3 beautifully filled raised beds. So that's it for this video. In a couple months, I'll start my herbs inside in little seedling trays, and then I'll transplant them in the springtime. But with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and keep growing it yourself.